Hi guys, I'm Dave, and today I'm going to be showing you the rogue abilities in my RPG PvP map. The rogue is probably the most dexterous of all the classes, because he can climb up mossy cobblestone, or no other class can, and also he can turn invisible while crouching. Turning invisible while crouching only lasts for a limited time, and you have to wait for that time to recharge between uses. So you can see I've got a countdown on the side of the screen, it counts down from 30. And when I stop crouching, it starts going back up all the way to 30. I don't have to wait for it to reach 30 before I start using it again, but I won't be able to use it if it hits 0. You also have to be moving while crouching. You can't just stay still. That's cheating. Alright, so climbing on mossy cobblestone. Let's have a look at that. This is a feature that's only available to rogues, and it can be tricky to get the hang of. No other class can do this, but rogues climb up mossy cobblestone as if there were vines there, which in fact, for rogues, there are vines there. So I can come up here to get the loot that was only accessible if you can fly, or climb up mossy cobblestone. And I've got my rogue feats here, book. And the hang glider, if you haven't seen this video, I suggest you go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. This allows me to make a speedy escape through the forest. I can just glide to safety. Alright, so how does it work? This is all the redstone there is for the invisibility part. This is pretty simple. I've got 2 scoreboard scores. I've got is sneaking, which is a stat.crouch 1 centimeter. Just tells me if I've been moving while holding shift. You can see my display at the side is going down. That's I'll show you that now. This basically just removes 1 from sneak time, which is just a dummy score. Sorry, adds 1 to sneak time, which is the dummy score, but only adds it if it's 29 or less, and if they aren't sneaking, and if they are a rogue. So if they haven't moved while shifting, or if the score for not moving for moving while shifting is 0, and they are a rogue, that's the class equals 1, and their sneak time is less than 29, then this command block will activate. It will activate anyway, but it will actually add 1 to my sneak time score. This one just resets my is sneaking score, so you can see my is sneaking. I'll just put that at the side. There you can see how far I've been sneaking, and basically it gets reset to 0. So if I stay still, it'll go to 0. If I just hold shift, it'll stay at 0. I have to actually be moving, and that's when it. So only when it's 0 does it add to my sneak time score. Now this tries to remove 1 from my sneak time score if my is sneaking, this one, is greater than 0. If it's 1 or more, and I am a rogue, and my ID is 1, this one is actually ID sensitive, which is why there's 6 groups of these, then it will remove 1 from my sneak time. And if that's successful, if it manages to remove 1, if I fulfill all of those conditions, then it will also give me invisibility for 1 second without the particle effects. And that gives it to the person whose ID is 1, which is me again. And these ones do exactly the same as those ones, the rest of these command blocks. This one just works for an ID of 3, ID of 5, we've got 2, 4, and 6 up here. So that's all there is for the invisibility part. Right, for the vines, it's a bit more complicated. This is the redstone for the vines. Again, it's modular. You can have as many of these as you want, but you will have to keep adding repeaters to extend the signal. I've only currently got this one running on this clock, because this is the one that works for me. This is for ID 1. But the rest do exactly the same. They are just for the IDs 2 to 6. Right, now what these 8 comparators do with the redstone on top of them is they test for a mossy cobblestone block, any mossy cobblestone block in this configuration around me, and they test for 1 of those blocks each. if they find one of those blocks, then these comparators will light up. I'll show you that. There, you can see that this comparator is lighting up, and that will activate these comparators, these command blocks at the top here. And what these do is they replace a large area around me with air where there was vines. That's to stop the vine from staying there permanently. And then it gets fed through to the signal, whether this is successful or not, gets fed through to this command block, which fills the area I am in and 2 blocks at either side in the direction I'm facing with vines. So I can show you that here. So you can see it in effect. It will flash off because that's when it's being filled with air, and when it's there, it's because it's being filled with vines. Now, they have a habit of actually staying there when you don't want them to, but I haven't found a fix for that. All this command block does at the end is it replaces this row of comparators in front of the command blocks with this row behind them to refresh them. You can see that if I put a block here again. This, it's a bit too far away here. So this comparator is on, and it keeps flashing off and back on again. That's so it provides a pulsing power signal without it taking up as much room as these ones. This is another way of doing the pulsing power signal. I can't remember where I saw this, but it wasn't my invention. Right, basically when the command block gets provided with power, this torch will turn off, allowing the comparator to turn on, because otherwise this has a signal strength of 15 that would block any signal from the comparator. So if the comparator was going to be on, you can see it here, and now it is on, but it turns back off whenever this redstone torch turns back on, and this redstone torch turns back on whenever the power stops being sent to this command block. So this comparator can only be on while power is being given to the command block, so that creates a pulse as well, which is pretty good. It's very useful, especially for the invisibility stuff. It would be very useful for this, but it would mean that this row of command blocks would be at least 3 times as long as it is, and that's just not practical. So I'm using the cloning a row of comparators that aren't powered onto the old row of comparators, the ones that are being used. There will be absolutely loads of uses for this ability in this map. As you can see, there is one of many loot chests up here, and this one is going to be a rogue loot chest because only rogues can get to it. Well, only rogues can get to it with their ability. I'm sure plenty of other classes would be able to find a way there, but it's going to be so much easier for rogues. And obviously, being able to turn invisible whenever you want, that's got to be a big bonus. I mean, I had to put the limit on it to stop it from being very much overpowered, because otherwise it really would be very much overpowered. It's obviously going to come in very handy. I could climb into one of these houses and sneak across the beam, and I would be completely invisible. So you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, yeah, there I am, or there I'm not. So, anyway, if you like this video, please feel free to leave a comment below, give it a like, or even subscribe for more redstone and map making tricks. I'm Dave, and that's all from me for today. Goodbye.